brother. Peace, my brother. Peace, peace, peace. What's good?
Good. All right. Yo, we back live with Ab 5. I'm going to call him Ali the Greatest because that shit sounds powerful. You know what I mean? I don't know where you get that name from. Is the IG name?
Thank you, my brother. Nah, that's me. That's actually my name. So, Ali is my government last name, and then Ali means the greatest. So,
Yo, this is why I knew that you was going to be a great interview. I met you. Shout out to La Bodega. Shout out to Product. Shout out to Black Rose. We met you because me and my lady went to the New Year's Eve comedy show.
Yes. And, shout out to them, man. Shout out to the Say Something comedy show, man.
Yeah,
June
man.
20th. I don't know when this episode is dropping, but June 20th, and it's looking like a monthly situation that's going on. But shout out to Product and Rose.
If they keep coming, we're going to keep making it happen.
That part.
So, yo, we outside for real. Like all summer. Yo, this is my first time we doing this. I told him he's my guinea pig.
Hey, man.
But yo, he's so
Pioneers
positive. Yo, he's so positive, man. And once I started following you, my brother, you know, you don't do it as much anymore, but you know, you was doing the driving in the car.
That's a fact.
And you was just vibing, bro, and positivity. I'm all about positivity. In my age now, you know, I was a knucklehead. We was all knuckleheads, but you know, I've finally figured out. I would say my late 30s, early 40s, man, that positivity wins, bro. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that gangster shit is whack. All that tough guy shit is whack.
Yep.
So any brother that I see like you, that's just positivity, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we got to talk about.
Appreciate
that. If I mess up the religion or anything, please correct me right away.
No,
I don't
for
want
sure,
them to
for
attack me. So it's Nation of Islam, correct?
So Nation of Islam is a thing, yes.
Okay.
I'm not in the Nation of Islam, though.
Okay.
I'm what you call a Sunni Muslim.
Okay, break it down.
So
Hell yeah. Get right into it.
So, first of all, you know, shout out to the Nation of Islam. You know, I got a lot of family and friends that are down with the Nation of Islam. But what it is was the Nation of Islam was something that was started by Master Fard Muhammad.
Yes.
So Master Fard Muhammad is the father of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him. So Nation of Islam was started and really got taken to another level with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this is like, you know, the ones that are in the nation, they have their version and, you know, how they, you know, perceptualize it. And then the ones that aren't in the nation, like myself and others, have the way that they perceptualize it.
100%.
So, you know, Haram police be, you know, be chill with me. But, nah, I mean, bro, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Nation of Islam is, and I love the nation. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the structure. I love the discipline. The militantism, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
You know, with it, because it's empowering. It's something that was needed, is needed. But you know, during the climax of that moment, you know, we talking, you know, crack era. And, you know what I mean? 60s, 70s, 80s, even, to where it was like, you know, us as a people, and not just, you know, black people, but just us, the minority group,
100%.
needed something to be hopeful for, something to look forward to, and that's what the nation provided. So Sunni Muslim, which I am, is pretty much when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son, peace be upon him and peace be upon brother Wallace Muhammad, but excuse me, Wallace Dean Muhammad. But so he broke off. He didn't continue the Nation of Islam legacy like, you know, his father wanted him to.
Yeah.
He broke off and he started the American Muslim Society, which became classified as Sunni Muslims.
Okay.
So, and pretty much the difference is, in my words, I would say Sunni Muslims, we follow Prophet Muhammad and what the Quran is initialized to kind of be. The Nation of Islam, that the Quran is their foundation, but they also teach from the Bible. You know what I mean?
Double dipping.
In a sense.
Gotcha.
And, one point in time, it was you know, and even now, but it's kind of calmed down now. But you know, back in the 60s and 70s, it was, you know, they used to teach, you know, the white man is the devil, and
And that's the Malcolm X era,
correct.
because he was in jail according to the movie.
Excuse me.
He was in jail, and then
Yep.
he you know they whatever you transform, what do you call it? They
Right. Yeah.
he made the transition,
Right. He got
and then you got Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
those are the two that I think about off the top.
No.
From that, you know, say, like you said, 70s and 60s.
Yep, that's a fact. Because those are big, you know, big influences. Well, you know, once Malcolm X made the transition into the Nation of Islam, that's when, you know, he really started to take it and run with it. And, you know, he was the pretty much the apprentice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And back to your point, they was on some real the white man, the devil shit.
Yeah, like straight up.
But
to
at that
the-
time, think about it. They were really spazzing. There was a lot of corruption, a lot of physical abuse. You know, that's the time when they were spraying motherfuckers with hoses and cracking
Absolutely.
motherfuckers over domes. So
absolutely.
he was spazzing for a reason.
Yeah. It wasn't just because. Like, I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because. There was a lot of, you know, malice going on, and you know, shoot, everything under the sun was going on. That was the opposite of the positive intention from them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a lot going on. So, and just like anything, it's just like, you know, if somebody's coming up to you and they, you know, not treating you right and not being fair and not, you know, trying to oppress the
We
people.
got our limits
Yeah.
before you spaz. Even at work,
Right.
you gonna spaz eventually.
That's a fact.
A coworker or your supervisor, and
Yeah.
it usually happens with your supervisor. He gonna talk crazy. You gonna take it for a little while. After one day, you gonna be like, yo, man, fuck this shit.
Shout out to the supervisors though.
Shout out to the cool
You know what I
supervisors
mean?
that
That's a
treat people
fact.
fairly
Straight like
and don't
that.
abuse their power. But
You know what I mean, Jasmine, I see you.
I definitely wanted to just talk off the top
Yeah.
because I've seen your posts. Your garments, and you got the J zone with the garments, so
Oh, yeah,
you can have your feet.
we
You can you can wear some people wear slippers, you know. Some people wear chancletas,
Word.
but you know whatever you want. But you know,
Nah,
talk
that's a
about the
fact.
garments because they're very stylish, fire, got swag to them.
Nah, that's a fact. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like coming up, it wasn't cool to. And not that everything needs to be cool, but you know, as a kid coming up, you know, you're the only Muslim in your class, your family, you're the only Muslim that you know.
So
and
this
your
is all
family.
your life?
This is all my life. I was born I was born Muslim.
So mom and dad,
Mom and dad.
The-
Mom and dad. My grandfather's the one that really brought it to
Started.
the forefront.
Started.
My grandfather was in the nation.
nice.
And there was a lot of people that were in the Nation of Islam because at that time there was no Sunni Muslim. That came sort of after.
when the son,
Right.
when he broke off.
So my grandfather was in the Nation of Islam, but him and a couple of people, you know, shout out to Imam John Nashi, shout out to brothers Hassan Bilal, and you know a bunch of the OGs, but they broke off from the Nation.
Yeah.
Came uptown, you know, from Harlem, came uptown to, you know, the Mount Vernons, then the Rochelle, shout out to Westchester. But, you know, started there, you know, followed the teachings of Imam Wahdi Muhammad, then, you know, broke off, started their masjid. Shout out to Master Yusuf Shah, Mount Vernon. But, you know, that's my family's masjid and still my masjid to this day. But,
No, that's fire because
Yeah.
I saw your post. And that was another reason I said, yo, and when we spoke on the side, I'm like, yo, we got to talk about that pork. Let's talk about, your skill.
Yeah.
And you know, yo, I'm Boricua. You know, we fuck with the pernil.
Word.
I'm sorry. I'm a keep it real with he already know I eat pork. He can tell.
it's all good, man.
He can probably smell it. You ate pork yesterday, nigga.
be like, yeah, that's it now.
So break down how from birth that rule is the realest thing ever. Like,
Yeah, because the thing is like, and no
No shade, no
does it.
shade.
Yeah, no shade to what people partake in, but just the reality is, the pig is probably one of the most unclean animals that there is. You know what I mean? Just from jump. You know what I mean? So if we have a religion and we have teachings that are teaching us, peace and righteousness and to be clean and cleanliness is godliness. We've heard that before plenty of times, which
Yep.
is true. It's like there's certain things that we can't indulge in because it's conflicting. You know what I mean? So what we ingest pretty much falls in line with that. You know what I mean? Like I
100%.
can't say, be Al Noor and follow the light and be, peace and positivity, but I'm over here, eating ribs or
Is
whatever
that the
case.
only thing that you can ingest? Well, that's the most popular one.
That is, yeah. That's
the only one?
That's the so, and here's where it gets to the man-made stages, because you have certain cultures and certain regions of the world that we do this, and this, but we don't do that. Then you go over here and you say, well, we do this and this, but we do that and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it gets like there's certain regions that say shellfish. Shellfish isn't a thing.
That's the cockroach of the sea.
Pretty much, right?
Lobster is lobster and shrimp.
Yeah.
Straight savage. Like they this back in the days. That's what they used to feed the peasants. Lobster and shrimps.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell.
Which is crazy.
I don't know where the hell this shit became fire.
and oxtails.
Yeah.
All of the stuff that is high end to us and that costs regular more than a piece of chicken.
The foolery. They get
You know what I mean?
they tricking us. But but yo, I always
Sure.
but I have a beef with the don't eat pork thing, right? Because and maybe you can help me out, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm on you specifically, but you got brothers and sisters don't eat pork.
Right.
They follow the religion,
Right.
but they drink Hennessy, they sniff coke, they smoke weed,
Right.
maybe they smoke some crack, but they don't fuck with the pork.
Right.
But they don't know that pork shit is
Yeah.
they will die by that, but they'll indulge in other things.
Yeah. Or they use profanity, or they're
Yeah.
in certain areas, or they,
Or they cheat on their wife.
cheat on that. Right? No, for real, true story.
So I'm like, so
True
wait,
story.
so the fact that is the one thing they not gonna do. They get locked up. They commit
Yeah,
murder.
right.
They rock whatever. But they ain't gonna eat that pork, boy.
Nah, that's a fact.
But
That's a fact.
but that's just individual
Yeah.
behavior. They can't do nothing about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not the whole religion or whatever.
Pretty much. And then, because it's like, it's like you said, it goes based off of the individual. Because it's like, you could, sometimes it's like I care more about my body versus I care more about how my thought process is. Or I
My
care
freedom.
more about my freedom.
My reputation.
Or right. Or vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's like, all in all, it really should be nothing. But, it gets choosy.
Bro, nobody's perfect, bro. You know what I'm
That's-
saying?
and that's the
Nobody's
thing.
perfect. Right? Like I said before, right now I believe I'm living my best life.
Likewise.
You know what I mean?
Likewise.
I go to work, take care of my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always tell her, "You the first girl I never cheated on." You know what I mean? I keep it real.
No, that's 100. That's
I keep it a buck.
Yeah.
And it's because I made mistakes in the past. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not in nobody's DMs. I'm not trying to be the I'm so confident in myself that, and I learned this through other interviews, talking to other brothers
Yeah.
and sisters, because shout out to Kiara Luna. She's a Latin therapist. She touched on it in the interview that we did. And in my case, this is not all men. Ladies, don't take this shit and smack your man with it. But in my case, the cheating and the looking for attention from other women came from me not believing I'm good enough, and I need that, oh, you still cute shit, you know what I'm saying? I need that. I needed it before, not now. Now I'm so happy in my relationship, and it's not even about her.
Right.
It's about myself. I'm happy with myself.
Yeah.
That I don't need the validation of other women to tell me, yo, pull up, you know what I'm saying? So, I pray now. You know what I'm saying? I just been, for the last 5 years, I've been praying.
That's fine.
She'd even remind me, babe, did you pray? I'm like, yeah, I already prayed.
That's fine.
So,
That's
and it took 45 years, but yo, I made it, baby.
You did it. Shoot, it could have happened never. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It could have took 50. But
Exactly.
it took
it took me 44 to 45 years, but
That's big.
on a lighter note, that was the religion segment of the show, because I wanted to jump in it right away, and he told me we could start with that, and
wherever. One thing I want to add,
break it down, no?
off of what you were saying, just how, because I see this happen, and I can relate to that. Just not being, because it's a security thing, right? If we're really breaking it down, and a lot of times men shoot more than and women too, but more or less men have that. We have that insecurity. We have that, oh, I gotta go and have the baddest joint, even though I know she's not right for me. Even like everybody has a gut feeling everybody can feel like, you're either gonna listen to it, act on it, or you're.
Hey, that's part of the show. That's part of the show.
You know what I'm saying? We just pause.
Fire trucks, ambulance, motorcycles.
All that.
We on the Bruckner, baby.
Straight like that.
So,
But yeah, it's like, like we know, everybody knows what's right and what's wrong. We can feel it.
hell
right?
yeah.
Sometimes we're not as in tune, and sometimes we might have to go a little deeper into a situation to be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have did this, or I shouldn't have. But it's like, sometimes we get blinded, no pun, but we get blinded by the lights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or the idea of something, or the potential something is. It's like, no,
Damn, she do got a fat ass.
Right. It's like, nah, but the cheeks is crazy though.
Damn.
Nah, like next time, I'll start next time. It's just like, bro, next time turns into 2 years, and then you lost all this time, and then it's just like that. So as men, and as just people, period, we gotta just start knowing ourselves and being secure with ourselves, and finding out how to be secure with ourselves, and understanding that, we're enough. We don't need validation. We don't need other people's opinions and people to help you feel validated. It's just like, once I found that out, then I started. Then you tap into your own power. Then you start realizing like who you are and things that you can do. Then you start getting tapped in with universal law and then frequency, and then that it just goes. But it's a security thing, man.
Definitely, because don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I do? And men, let me help you out. Men, I'm gonna help you out. This is free game. Mm-hmm. If you're in a relationship and you're trying to behave and you already got caught and you don't want to get caught again, or you never got caught, whatever, do not indulge in these pages that your friend that you went to high school with shows her ass all day, or the models, the IG fat asses, bro. I don't follow that shit.
You can't.
Because why? It's a fucking distraction.
It is.
You know what I mean? Now if it comes on my feed, because you got the feed that you got your follow friends, and then you got the sponsors or whatever.
Right.
And I'll be like, look, babe, like this, and I'll send it to her. I don't give a fuck because it's fun to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm talking about liking, fucking following, bro. Though I'm telling you, it'll help you be stronger in your relationship. Don't even entertain it. Don't like it. That's another thing. Yeah. Cause now you heart and shit.
That's a fact.
That causes bad karma and bad attention that you don't need.
Right.
And just try to do the right thing, man. But
a lot of times we set ourselves up to fail.
100%
without even knowing. And it's like second nature. It's just like, oh, okay, like I know I shouldn't go out tonight. I know I gotta work at 5 a.m, but fuck it. I'm only gonna stay for an hour. I'm only gonna have a drink. It's just like, no, like,
and the next day hurts.
Yeah, set yourself up for success. You know what you got to do this day, that day, boom, boom. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna go here. I'm not gonna even put myself in that position. Like, I don't need. That's one thing. Like, shout out to my mom's. Like, she's like, and that saved me as a kid too. Like, don't even put yourself in position. Like, you're supposed to do the chore. You're supposed to do whatever. It's just like, prep for it. Set yourself. You got to get up and go to work by 7:30. Don't be up late, or go to school by whatever time. Like, don't be up at. You know what I mean? Like, just little things like that. Little practices that
it becomes habit.
Right. Then it becomes a habit, and then it's just like saying no is easy, and you're not even thinking twice about it.
Bro, I don't even. Not only that, I don't even get hit on. No one's in my DM because
they already know.
They already know.
They already know.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing, bro. Girls don't usually do that shit. Niggas do that shit all day. We stupid as fuck. Mm-hmm. I remember getting caught in my past relationships. Don't you got a girl? She ain't, and I would literally write back, she ain't gonna find out. Like a dumbass. And the girl will fucking block me or some shit. And it's like, bro, you look like a fucking bozo, bro.
Yeah.
And I even learned when I was single, I learned not to be in girls' DMs. Because I got a lot of female friends, right? And I'll be by the bar with them, because they work hookah or they work bartender or whatever. Mm-hmm. And someone will walk in, they be like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? That nigga be in my DMs. Yo, that shit. Yo, it gave me a feeling. I'm like, ew. I don't want to be in the middle. I swear to, and we weren't together yet. We were still like dating. Uh-huh. And I was like, yo, can you believe? And she was like, yep. And we be laughing at these niggas because that dude or those 3 dudes are in all our DMs, looking like bozos. Right. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to be a bozo.
Thinking that they the man though. pulling up to the spot. Yeah, yo, what up, shorty? Yo, what up? Yo, I mean, yeah.
Nah, you looking
Yo,
crazy.
You look crazy, my
But
bro.
let's talk about what happened with the episode you did with the balloons. What was that? That was dope. That was dope.
Yo, you know what's crazy?
My man don't fuck with 25-year-olds. I just want to let y'all know.
Them men two gotta be strong, man.
Yo, oh, you know what? Before we move on, I want something about your moms. So, it's religion, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up. So, from birth, grandpa, mother and dad, mom and dad.
Right.
How? And then we can move on. But I just want to get this out because I almost forgot about it. Oh, by the way, other podcasts, don't try this at home. I ain't got no script. I ain't got no notes. This is off the dome. This is natural conversation.
Ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody.
Trust.
But good luck. If you want to try, you can try.
Trust.
But back to the how did that your upbringing, right? Because I grew up with no dad, right? My mom's, shout out to moms. She did her best. I was still a little knucklehead. No felonies and no misdemeanors, so it worked out.
Yeah.
But I was still a knucklehead, still doing dumb shit. How powerful was the religion and that kept you? I mean, you might have did some dumb shit here and there, but how the obedience of the religion and having both? Did you have both your parents together?
So I come from a single parent household.
Okay.
Of course, through the years, I had a couple of appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
me too. he showed up sometimes.
You know what I mean? But shout out to my pops. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that do to death. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we still love him. I see.
Yeah.
I visited my dad. He passed away recently, but about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But bro, still show. Even though he's a piece of shit, you know what brought me peace was my kids had it better. I showed them love. I made my mistakes as well, but I was there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a present dad to this day. But back to your point, the original question was the growing up. How strong and was the religion like? Did it keep you straight?
Yeah, absolutely. I put it like this: I have friends that are Muslim, and that I've had, from grade school to now, and then I have friends that aren't. I can tell the difference.
Wow.
Simply because there's a certain energy, there's a certain light, there's a certain, discipline, even that just specific, not even just all religion, just specifically with Muslims, period. You know what I mean? It's like, I could tell, like that girl in the Pop the Balloon.
Yeah.
Well, one, I knew by the name, but I was just like, okay, there's something. I knew there was something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to that in a second because that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a certain. I can't even really describe it, but
you can feel it.
Yeah, it's a feeling, and it's a relative feeling too when you find someone else. But what it did for me was First, it made me confused. I'm gonna be honest with you. It made me confused. It was just like, well, why is everybody Christian and I'm a Muslim and my last name is like this? Like, I had a 3-letter last name. My name is Ahmad Ali. You know what I mean? It was just like, in grade school, kids used to write their name.
Rodriguez!
You feel me? I'm like, yo, that's tough. Like, I got 3 letters. Like, I knew how to spell my name like that. Like, where's the challenge? Like, I don't know, but that's just what it was. There was times where I took my mom's, because she recently changed her last name to Ali.
Yeah.
But my mom changed her last name. It was a different last name. But I used to take her last name. Like, used to be like, who is AC? I'd be like, oh, that's me. Like, yo, where your last name? Like, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
I'm wrong with this for right now. But yeah, it was just, it made me different. But as I, grew and as I started to, progress in life, it was just like, okay, I understand the separation now. I can't do what the masses do. I can't, because I'm not who the masses is.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know what I mean? I come from a different cloth. I come from a different upbringing. I was raised differently. You know what I mean? I didn't get it, but like now, oh yeah, I get it, and I honor it, and I love it, and I respect it, and I thank my grandfather to this day for.
Nah, I saw it right away.
I mean?
I said, yo,
like, what?
I told her. I don't know if I told her the day that we met. Mm-hmm. I said, yo, I fuck with that. Yo, it was. I went on stage, and you didn't know me from a hole in the wall. I was a regular dude.
Nah,
I
that's
bought my
fact.
ticket. I went. I was
sitting. I'm like, wait, I know. Did I meet bro? Where did I meet bro? I know bro. Because I'm not good. Like I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
Like especially not names.
But you
I'm
probably
terrible
saw
with
you,
names,
you
but
probably you probably
faces,
saw the timeline or episode or something.
That's what it was. And then I saw you on the gram. I was like, and I pinpointed it. Once we started talking, I was like, oh, from the gram.
Yeah. Because
sure.
so when I meet people, I don't say I'm from the podcast, right? I try to even with product. Product used to live here for a couple of months or years.
Oh, for real?
Leo,
That's tough.
the episode that we did was his uncle Leo that we mentioned. We should, that was his OG. That's like his dad. So Leo lived here for a couple of years, and
Fire.
so I knew him already.
Gosh.
But when I went in for the New Year's show, I just said, yo, my name is Ab. I gave him my card. I said, yo, if you want to hook up,
Yeah.
we could do it. Because I was thinking about doing an episode there, and then I thought about interviewing him, but it was just up in the air. And then he hit me up when he was on his media, because he did like he shouted everybody out to bring attention to the business.
Right.
And once I said Leo, he's like, you should have told me before. I'm like, nah. I kept that one in the bag. But so let's move on to the balloon thing. What was that? That was a podcast thing?
Yeah, that was a. So it was. So shout out to my boy Business. I met Business last year at InvestFest.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with InvestFest, but
I heard of it.
yeah, this is shout out to Rashad and Troy, EYL, and all of them. But I met him at InvestFest, and we was chopping it up, and InvestFest is like the biggest business festival in the world, right?
Like entrepreneur stuff?
Entrepreneurs, finance, but they cover everything.
Okay.
Entertainment. They're from the 914 as well, Greenberg.
Shout out to them.
And what they just did with that company is just tremendous and remarkable. But I met Business there, and
His name is Business?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Word.
Damn.
Word. That's what got me. So I was like,
Shout out to you, brother.
I was like, shoot, I wish I would have thought of that.
That's fire.
But yeah, my boy's about his business. You know what I'm saying?
No, I love it.
Shout out to Brittany Shantae on the live too. I met her at InvestFest too. One of my dogs.
Shout out, show everybody love. Shit.
But
he's live.
But I'm live right now too. You know what I mean? But I met him and then we chopped it up. He's an influencer. He does like a lot of the reaction videos for like Power, BMF, and
nice.
Goes viral all the time. So he's building off the momentum. He started his own 20V. Well, no, it was the balloon pop.
Yeah.
So
nobody owns that? Anybody could do that?
So to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, because
I know there was one, but I know there's a couple of other ones and people.
I don't know who's the originator
and stuff like that. But he had hit me maybe like February, March. So I was in Ramadan at the time, so I was like,
we didn't talk about that.
Oh, what's up?
Break it down. We're gonna come back to the balloons. But I got you, my coworker from my job. Yo, nothing from what time? Break that down, bro. Cause y'all niggas be starving. Yo,
I'm dead.
Break that shit down, bro. Please, I'll be feeling bad for y'all. I eat in front of that nigga. I'm gonna fuck.
Nah, bro. So
and that's all your life.
Yeah. So yes. It was. I participated in it all my life.
Okay.
It wasn't until maybe 2021, 2022 where I'd completed the whole 30 days.
So you used to fall off?
I used to fall off.
That's a thing.
I used to. Oh yeah, for sure.
So break down the rules to the people.
So initially, what you want to do is so Ramadan 30 days comes every 9 months. It goes based off of the sighting of the halal, which is the moon, and pretty much the point of Ramadan is to reset. It's a reset. It's a reset for mental clarity. It's a reset for your
organs,
your body, just to kind of get away from not only eating and stuff, but away from certain people, away from certain environments, away from it's really kind of to evaluate what serves you and what doesn't.
So it's not only food.
It's not only food.
No partying.
No, like you want to be you don't want to be outside. Pretty much, put it like that. Like
so you work home.
Pretty much.
Because you want to clear your mind as well.
Exactly. You want to detox from everything. You know what I mean? No negativity, no gossip. You know what I mean? No sex, no.
Oh, hold that.
While the sun is up. While the sun is up. You know what I mean? But
no sex while the sun is up.
Right. No food, no drink, no sex, no negativity.
So break down the time.
So there's 5 prayers in Islam. The first prayer is called Fajr. Fajr usually comes in, right now, comes in about 4 a.m. Times change. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. And then we fast all the way up until Maghrib. So Maghrib is what? So this past Ramadan is about 6, 7. So you
Okay.
figure from about 5, and every day the times change by a minute or two. So day 1 it could be, let's say 4:30. By day 30 it could be, shoot, the gap widens too. So day 1
Who's
could be
keeping track of
4:30.
this?
There's a calendar.
There's a calendar.
Yeah. Shout out to the Muslim Pro app, works wonders, man.
Oh, there's an app for it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the alarm will go off. Okay,
Alarm
you
will
can eat.
go
You can
off.
eat now.
The doing is dope. It'll call a little Allah. It'll call a Adhan. That's how you know it's time for prayer. And then yeah, joint is crazy.
Yo.
But I'm not gonna front. Like the first 2-3 days is like but like after 3, 4,
And no water either. Nothing.
no nothing. Not
Ain't your
even
mouth
water.
dry? A gum? Nothing.
Nah, but here's the thing: your body adjusts.
Oh.
Your body adjusts, your mental adjusts. You start to feel the the cleanliness. You start to feel,
So by the last week, you good.
yeah.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong. Like you're gonna feel fatigued a little bit. You're gonna feel how you should feel, because the thing is like if I'm indulging in all of these things that I shouldn't be indulging in, I'm gonna feel the fatigueness. I'm gonna feel, you know. So it's somewhat like a reminder. But yeah, man, 30 days, and I look forward to it every year, just because I be outside and I be around different people, around different energies, around different things that the industry that I'm in is sometimes you can't separate and get away from the things that
Yeah, because you in the music business. We're gonna get into that as well. And you obviously DJ.
yeah.
So you be, you might see some twerking, you might see some tits, you might,
Yeah.
and so Ramadan, you don't take no gigs. It's shut down.
No. I do work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I do work. Because it's work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to nobody's birthday party or something. I'm not just popping out.
Oh, working is working.
Yeah, working.
Now,
is working.
indulging
Yeah,
is there's a whole different world.
correct.
And it's not about religion, color either, because the guy I'm talking about is Italian,
Yeah.
and he did the Ramadan.
Oh, there's first of all, there's Muslims of every race. One.
Yeah.
Chinese Muslims, white Muslims. There's shout out to Bella K. I hope I'm saying this right, but I believe she is Russian or something. Don't shoot me if I'm getting this wrong. But she's European of some descent, right? And born Muslim, husband's Muslim, father's Muslim. Hell of an artist, by the way, too. We got a lot of stuff coming. But and it was just like, what? Like that's hard. That's hard. Like I didn't really get put on to like just the I guess the wide variety of or the reach that Islam really has until I started like really working with, shout out to my brother Tone Trump out of Philly, Tapak, and he moves like everybody is around him is Muslim.
Wow.
Like, and he's not like closed off to people that aren't, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But primarily it's just like, yo, if you,
But it's based off that energy that he's talking about.
yeah, absolutely.
That's real shit.
So I've met Chinese Muslims, bro. I've met like European Muslims. I've met Indian Muslims. I've met like it's crazy. But yeah, there's no limit.
Shout out to how you pronounce Ramadan?
Ramadan, yeah.
All right, so that's gonna in 9 months it's gonna happen again.
Yeah. And it's coming maybe not next year, but I think the year after there's gonna be 2 Ramadans in 1 year.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But all right, I just
Close
wanted
to that.
I just wanted to touch that because I forgot about it, and like I said, I ain't got no notes. So once he said Ramadan, I wanted to reach back.
Nah, for
So
sure.
let's go back to the balloon. You was making a point about the young lady.
yeah, so where was we at with that? So yeah, shout out to business. So yeah, he was hitting me for the joints, for the balloon pops. First one didn't line up, it was Ramadan. Second one, and I'm not gonna front, I was a little on the fence too about it. I was like,
Because you're obviously you're single.
I'm very
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
If not, you ain't partaking. Obviously.
No.
That'll just kill the whole 5 minutes point we made.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
But my brother's single. That's why he was in the
man.
balloon pop. He's a grown man. He can do what the fuck he want to do.
Damn right.
And he turned down that 25-year-old. Goddamn.
Had to, you know what I'm saying? It was like, been there, you gotta learn and you gotta progress. You know what I mean? Fool me once.
You mentioned something about the mind. So now, if you date
Yes.
someone, you want that to be straight.
Yeah.
It matters now because you're at an age that it matters. Before you didn't give a shit, probably.
Nah.
It matters now, right?
That's
And,
a fact.
and why does it matter now to you?
That's a fact. Oh, shout out to my brother. He just turned in on the live. Shout out
Yo.
to Tony Trump over there, my brother.
Yo, we
But,
just mentioned you, bro.
That's a fact. But yeah, it's cause put it like this. I've been in a lot of situations to where it was just like, I can't go backwards. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like
get it.
if I'm trying to elevate my mind and if I'm trying to progress, there's only but so much that I can do to bring you up, and you got to match me at some point. And then everything starts with the breath, but everything is a thought first. You know what I mean? So the mental and the intellect is, super, like we have to be able to have, like I mentioned on the show, we have to be able to have, those intellectual conversations. You know what I mean? Because I like history. I like learning about things. I like, I'm a low-key geek on the low. You know what I mean? Like, give me the information. Give me the knowledge. Give me the, I didn't know about that. Now I know. Like, I love those. If I can't, if you're my person, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be...
You're going to spend a lot of time with this person.
Yeah. Like, you got to be able to teach me some stuff. I can't be the only one teaching you. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so, I look at that and consider that, when I'm just even around people, period. You know what I mean? Like, screw a relationship. It's just like, the reason why I'm to self a lot of the times is because it's just like, let's make it make sense. Especially at this point in time in the age, it's like,
Yeah, you don't even...
I've been there, did all of that. I've
we-
been outside from a young age. All of my friends are older than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm the youngest one in my friend group. You know what I mean? It has been since.
And that's part of your maturity as well.
Yeah, and that's played a big part. You know what I mean? So,
So, but you was mentioning that one of the girls had good energy
on the
in the balloon joint. Was she Muslim?
Oh yeah. I forget her name. Everybody knows her as the girl with the red boots. So
Okay.
Kadira. Kadira.
Okay.
Shout out to you, Kadira. But I knew the energy. I don't know. I'm really big on energy and vibes.
Hell yeah.
So when I walked into the room, like I felt the energy. She was bubbly. She was, you know what I mean? She was just different from a lot of the other joints. I was like, okay, dope. Heat taken. Let's see who else pops in. Okay. But as we started to go and progress, it was like, I don't know, there's something that ain't really there all the way for me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep it a buck too. You know what I'm saying? How can I make this politically correct?
Or not. Just say it how you want to say it.
I like my women to be heavy on the lower side. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a top heavy kind of guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you have those, great. You know what I mean? But I like
Bump in the trunk.
Yeah.
Bump in the trunk.
I like the cushion for the pushing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
We
Like-
here with him.
Yeah,
We got it.
You feel me? So, and based off of the outfit, not that it was bad or good or bad, but I couldn't really see what it was giving. I'm being 100. That's where it was at from jump, right?
Yep.
And then it was she just popped off of a traumatic situation. I don't know, she popped but as soon as I said I'm an Aquarius, she popped. But here's the
Damn!
thing, I already knew. Again, this wasn't my first rodeo. You know what I mean? You have some sort of trauma with Aquarians, and he probably was a February Aquarius, so that's what
She
happened.
said that.
Right. I hit her right on the head.
She,
And that's why she got her balloon back. I was like, but I was still curious a little bit more. That's why I was like, yeah, no, can she get her balloon back? She could. Okay, yeah, let's.
so what are the rules?
The rules?
They all got, so it's 20? It's 20 girls.
No. So there's the 20v1,
Okay.
and then there's like the balloon pop challenges. So the balloon pop is the even.
That's something
number.
else.
Right.
Okay.
So this I think there was maybe 7 guys, 7 girls, or something like that.
Oh,
Or
okay.
5
So,
guys, 5 girls, something like that.
that's even. Got it.
And then yeah, so each guy comes out, and the ladies have the.
So
option
once they
to-
see you and if they think you trash, pop.
Yeah. You should watch this. The episode 4. The clips
Yeah.
for episode 4 is
No,
crazy.
I'm gonna check it out because now I'm intrigued.
Crazy.
So okay, so pop means they not fucking with you,
Yeah, it's over.
but you could talk
Not an
them back
option.
into it and get the balloon back. So based off the conversation, they could get that balloon back.
I think that's kind of like in certain cases.
Okay, but the one you was on, that was the case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that like even in that situation, like it was like at his discretion, like you know, if it makes sense to do it, all right, cool. Let's just, you know. But
So if the girl catch the vapors, you can get like, oh, vapors. Sorry, that's I went too far back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Put me on.
I'm sorry. Oh, you don't know what that means?
I think I do.
She caught the Bismarcky. She caught the vapors.
Okay.
That's like
okay.
that's like a girl slept on you and she thought you was broke or some shit.
Nah, that's valid.
I'm sorry. I'm showing my age.
next thing you know, I'm
She
pulling
caught
up
the
the
vapors.
foreign and it's different. Like, you feel me?
Exactly. There you go. That's the vapors. But
We're gonna bring that back. I like
I'm
that.
telling you, Bismarcky.
Don't catch the vapors. Don't catch the vapors.
Google, YouTube, Bismarcky, the vapors. There's a whole video. Big Daddy Kane wasn't even Big Daddy Kane yet. It's a whole vibe. Yes, I'm 49 years old. Sorry.
That's hard.
No, it's fire.
Shit, keep doing what you're doing.
I'm telling you, man. And rest in peace to Bismarcky, legend.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah,
not speaking of music,
Yeah.
perfect segue. My man is a producer.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to I just followed the business page.
Oh, my studio page. I got a lot. Bro, if I tell you how much content I'm sitting on, it's ridiculous. Like for like the past 3 years,
Well, what's the name of it? Is the record label? Is it a label?
So you might have followed the Off the Record page.
That one, the Off the Record.
So Off the Record was a day. Currently, it's a day party that I started doing last year.
Okay.
And pretty much just last year was like my trying year, I guess to say.
Yeah.
Me stepping into nightlife a little bit. Me kind of getting because
that's like a 9 a.m. banger type of thing.
In a sense.
Day party type?
In a sense.
Okay.
In a sense. But yeah, that was the brand of me, stepping out and just branding, my parties and what I'm doing. I will be doing another Off the Record party this year.
And you know what? And me and her were talking about it. I'm not even gonna go to the 9 a.m. banger. I'm gonna wait for you to do yours because I want to be drunk at 9 in the morning. I think I've never. On vacation is okay.
Yeah.
But I think if you are getting your mind, babe, we gotta wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m., get dressed, and be drunk by 10. Like that's crazy. Whoever thought
next level.
Whoever thought of this shit, y'all niggas is fucking crazy.
That's next
but I'm
level
gonna partake.
Right absolutely. It's genius if you ask me. It's like, because that's what people want. People want to do different things. And
100%.
Like, even if it's like way out the box, it's like, oh, wow, that's so crazy that I just might try it.
I might try it.
You know what I mean?
So then the other one is the Mogul. That's something else.
Yeah, so
that's
the Greatest page. That's my main page. That's the one I'm active on. And then I have the Goat Lab page. So the Goat Lab is my studio.
that one. Okay, that's the studio.
Yeah, Goat Lab is my studio. I'm actually working on some merch. I got some. I got a little merch.
Okay, hell yeah.
On,
there you go.
Just a little demo joints. But I'm working on a couple of pieces. Just the brand to get in the merch game a little bit.
That's how you gotta do it.
You know what I mean? So merch available soon. You know what I'm saying? Inquire within. Hit me on the gram.
Shout out some of the artists you work with. Beat maker, correct? Or engineer? You do it all?
So I'm a producer. I personally don't like the term beat maker, simply because I do a lot more than make beats.
Yeah.
I'm really a one-stop shop. So I'll help you write the record. I'll give you a reference for the record. I'll make the beat for the record. I'll engineer the record. I'll mix the record.
So some
I'll
studios,
master the record.
hell yeah. So some studios, right? Let's say we're just gonna throw a name out there, like, Justin Bieber. That's for example. The studio maybe that he works in. There's 5 different people that do what you just said.
Right.
Everything that you just said.
Right.
So one-stop shop, which is what you do.
Right.
Some people might really fuck with that. That's like,
yeah.
Wait, you do that too? All right.
That's
and they probably gonna be like have some doubts in the beginning.
Of course.
But after oh shit, yeah, you are nice. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, yeah. Especially in the beginning, it was like, shoot, take Tone Trump for example. Shout out to my brother again. But like when we first started working, this is going back 2020.
Oh, nice.
And this is me just like hitting them in the DM on some like, hey, Assalamu alaikum, bro. I'm Muslim and. Let me send you a pack. Let's work, and then
wait. I'm not Muslim, but I wish I could use that. Yo, that's like a resume. That's fire.
It's a different brotherhood.
Yo, that mattered because he was Muslim.
Yeah, and he'll tell you himself. He was just like, yo, if you wasn't Muslim, not that he wouldn't rock.
Yeah,
but it's like
it mattered. It made a difference.
It's like I'm gonna get to this DM now because you said that, and you are that versus. 3, 4, 5
Hey, it matters.
days or months later.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's just, you know,
That's love. That's
we
love.
get a lot of you know, a lot of DMs and stuff. But where were we?
Working with Tony Trump in 2020.
Yeah, so
The vibe, yeah.
so when we first started working, it was almost like, man, get out of here. You don't do all that. Like, all right, well, let me see. And then it's like, you know, I sent them a pack. Well, first of all, I sent bro a pack. He sends me a record back with Freeway on it. That's like, and I'm like, this is 2 days later.
Hey, whoa.
This is 2 days after the DM.
and explain to the people what that means, a pack.
So a beat pack. So, you know, as a producer, you know, artists will ask for beat packs or, yo, you know, send me some beats. You know, you send.
So it's about 10 or 20?
You don't flood. No. You,
5?
You never flood. 3 to 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5 each
Young
time.
producers, 3 to 5. Do not flood.
Don't flood. The thing is, because you got to understand.
You might want to flood, though.
But here's the thing. If you locked in with an artist and, like, you already have that rapport, no, flood.
Okay.
Because it's like, y'all have that rapport, you know what I mean? And then also.
But first impressions, chill. It's like dating a girl. Not too much.
Not too much.
Wait.
Not too much. Because in all reality, they're going to listen to the first 2 or 3, and if they're not rocking with those, they're not listening to nothing else. It's like when you listen to an album or a song. It's like I'm listening to the first little bit. If I'm not hooked in and if I don't get it, I'm skipping.
So don't flood.
Don't flood.
So you hit him with the beat pack?
I hit him with the beat pack. You know, he was rocking with the sound. And I don't even know, like, you know, you just sitting and waiting, like, all right, cool. Is he going to hit? Is he going to not?
2 days later, you get a Freeway.
2 days later, he's like, hey, bro.
Legend, by the way.
Check your email. I'm like, all right. I'm like, oh, this ain't tough. It's called Gun and Quran. It's still out. Shout out to Freeway as well.
Hell yeah.
We got some work coming as well. But,
He's also Muslim.
yeah. You know, shout out to the whole Philly. Philly is like, and I've been going to Philly for years. I got family in Philly. And
I've never been to
Like,
Philly. Wait.
no?
I've been to downtown. Because I used to run marathons and half marathons.
okay.
So I've been to downtown Philly.
Okay,
I've been
okay.
around the statue, the Rocky statue. I've been to the steps.
Yeah. Nah, that counts. That's
I've been
Philly.
to what is it? Tony's. What is it? The two Geno's and the other one?
Geno's is the spot, man.
I went a little
Geno's
deeper
is
into
the
Philly
spot. Yep.
because I wanted a better Philly cheesesteak. But let's talk about Philly for a second. Because they get a bad rap, you know what I'm saying? A lot, you know, shout out to
like
Philly. You know, rest in peace to all the brothers that we and sisters that we lose. But
That's a fact.
they get a bad rap as far as the violence and the gun violence.
Yeah.
Can you like elaborate more about Philly and the? It's not always like that. It's just the media type of thing, or it is bad.
I'm gonna say it's both.
Because the Bronx is bad too. Shit, you know,
yeah.
It's just not. It's not only Philly. It's everywhere.
But it's like in places like Philly, and even like, you know, further south, it's all about the laws and how, you know, the loopholes are with the laws in a sense, you know, and again, you know, just to be politically correct, I'm speaking from the outside looking in. I've never lived in Philly. I've just, you know, been there and, you know, have family there, and I go based off of what I hear and what I, you know, experience for myself. But and me and bro actually just had this talk last week when I was out there for the Roots picnic, and it was just like, yo, their laws, you know, even like gun laws and certain things like that, they aren't as strict as it is for like a New York situation.
100%.
Not that everybody follows the laws, but it's just like, you know, it changes the dynamic a little bit when you have, you know, certain things in place, you know, in solidarity and everything solidified in a sense, versus like a Philly or even like a, you know, a North Carolina or like a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, you know, there's that side, but nah, Philly's really like that. Philly's really like that. There's times where I would go to Philly. Matter of fact, also too, we just dropped the album too, top of last month.
Fire.
Now. It's called Still Striving, available on all streaming platforms.
Oh yeah, before we close out, you're gonna promote everything.
You know what I mean?
Whatever you can remember,
For
just
sure.
promote it.
For sure. Shout out to the legend CeeLo Green. He's on that album. A lot of people on that album. You know, produced, mixed, mastered all fully by yours truly. But yeah, Philly's like that. Bro would be like, so I'd go down there sometimes on weekends. You know, we lock in. We either go to the studio or we'll get a hotel room. I'll bring, you know, all the equipment down, and you know, we rock out. But it would be like, yo, bro, if you gotta leave, hit me. And I didn't understand it at first. I'm like, well, man, I'm a grown ass man. Like, why I gotta hit you if I'm going to go get some food? And then
It matters. It matters.
He broke it down. He was just like, "Yo, it's different. I like just, you know what I mean." And like, I take heed. Like, if somebody, you know more than I do, you know what I'm saying? So this, you live here, all right, cool. Like, if that's what it is. But being outside and being around different things, and even like seeing how like law enforcement moves, like niggas got AKs out there, like just for
So it's
security.
different. It's different
Like,
for
just
real.
yeah, it's really like that. It's really like
So he was
that.
just obviously looking out for you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But even with me, like I've been to the Dominican Republic twice, and I even told her, I've been to the resort, and you have some of the employees.
yeah,
They're like, yo, when I get off, let me know. I'll take you. And I'm like, I don't know, buddy. I don't know you.
yeah. That's a
So,
fact.
and maybe he was, trying to look out. But if you ain't with the natives, you know what? And anywhere you at, it could be L.A., it could be Miami, it could be
Yeah.
Philly, it could be Brooklyn, New York, whatever. Don't, if you about that life, God bless you. But
Yeah,
why not rock with the natives and move, the way they know how to move?
100%,
But
100%.
I want to go back to La Bodega where we met.
Yeah.
How did you and product how did that relationship start?
So I met Product. I'm trying to think. Was it with the shirt with me and PJ? Shout out to my boy PJ. So before La Bodega became La Bodega, the event space, the Bodega is actually a studio. You know what I mean? So I pulled up there.
He's a rapper for real.
Yeah, nah, Product.
No, wait,
Product,
no.
yeah.
Artist, sorry.
Yes.
He corrected me in our interview. He's an artist.
Yes, Product is definitely an artist. Boy got bars and vocals and
100%.
creative. He's a creative genius.
Yep.
But I forgot who it was with, but we ended up there at the studio, and that's where we first met.
Okay.
Fast forward maybe 2 or 3 years, me and my boy PJ, shout out to PJ, he has a dope podcast too called Westchester Talks.
Shout out to you, brother.
But we were doing an event. We wanted to bring the artist showcase vibe to, like, we wanted the artist showcase vibe to meet the nightlife vibe. So, and for the record, I really dislike the word showcase. So I use artist show just because it's like, people run that word through the ground and it's all a gimmick and it's like,
Yeah.
I've been, but so we put on an artist show, but we had bottles and we had the hookah and we had the works,
The whole vibe. You had the whole vibe.
and it was lit. We called it a vibe in New York. That's
How
what
did I
it
know
was.
that?
Because we vibing, man.
Exactly.
We here, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we called it a vibe in New York, and it was dope. It was fire. It was everything we needed it to be. So that's really where the relationship started.
So that was the first.
That was really where the relationship started.
We on the Bruckner, baby.
It's summer, man. It's summer. We outside. You hear the dirt bikes. Stop. But
I knew that was gonna happen, and I'm gonna embrace it. I'm not even gonna run away from the fact that we're on the Bruckner.
We good. We good. But yeah, that's what it.
So that's where it started?
That's where the relationship started.
You ever made music together?
me
Oh, he
and
was
Bob-
already fell back a little.
Yeah, he was kind of falling back from it.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to make music, but once
Hey.
an artist, always an artist.
Hey,
you know what I mean? So
he's ready.
that time is coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you a pack, man. Say less. I mean, matter of fact, coming live June 20th. Product on it. No, I mean, stop. You're gonna be like, what?
And I'm pretty sure he could still flow
yeah.
with the best of them.
I know he's still being there. He has a studio. He
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's where the relationship started, and it's like I'm really big on relationships. You know what I mean? Because like just in business and just in this life period, like that's what you have. You have your name, you have your reputation, and you have the relationship. You know what I
100%.
mean? And like we don't honor that and think about that enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, you can't just do anything. You can't just treat people how you know what I mean? Put your pride, put your ego aside, do good business, and then, because you never know when it's going to be opposite side. You never know when you're going to need that person, or
100%.
you know what I mean? Or when you want to go, down that road again, or even vice versa. You know what I mean? So, but shout out to Product again. But that's where the relationship started. Then we fast forward. So that was 2022. And then, over the years, I run in, he had certain events, mutual friends. I'd run into him, even like his birthday. He had something for his birthday one year. I ran in there real quick. Just to maintain a relationship. But Rose, so shout out to Black Rose. I met her through a mutual friend, my homie Jalen. Shout out to Jalen. But
Because you are the official What's the name of Steppin'?
The say something comedy show.
And you are the official DJ.
I'm the official
You've been
DJ.
from the beginning. That
From
you on the
jump.
fly and everything.
Word.
You part of the promo.
Feel me?
You know what I'm saying? What's it?
She threw me in the clip. She said, "Yo, we gotta go to La Bodega to shoot some clips." I was like, "All right, we out."
I'm not a
Let's do it."
comedian.
Yeah, I'm like, "What you want me to do?"
No,
I know how to improvise.
shout out to Black Rose because once I met her, bro, and she saw what I was doing. She was like, "Yo, you know, we're gonna work." You know what I'm saying? We shot the episode in Mi Tierra.
Yeah.
And yo, she reposts, she supports.
Yeah,
I support her, and she's just a dope individual. So shout out to you,
Yeah.
Black Rose. So how did you know you was? I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You was
Nah,
on your
you
way
good.
to explaining that relationship.
Nah, you good. But yeah, no, we met through a mutual friend, my homie Jalen, who's a creative whiz genius. He does concerts and helps with PR and artist management, and she does a whole bunch of things. Shout out to her. But we met through Jalen at an event, I think maybe, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Something creative.
Yeah, something creative.
Because all of you are creative around each other, and y'all just
Sure.
making magic, bro.
Nah, that's
I
a
love it.
fact.
I love it.
So we met, and then we first started working together. Jalen had did the she did a concert at the Westchester County Center, a huge concert. Music Soul Child, Jay Holiday,
Fire.
Case,
Legends.
You know what I mean? So she did that, and me Rose and my brother Kesey from White Plains as well. We all hosted together. So that was our first time, working together. We shot some promo clips together. So that was like, I liked how she worked. She liked how I worked. And then, from then, that's kind of when I started kind of getting back outside as DJing, with the DJing. Because what a lot of people don't know is before I started producing, I was DJing first.
Okay.
This is 10, 12 years ago, back in college. I was DJing, and I came back home, and then I didn't really grasp like the business of DJing back then, and it was just like I'm tired of respectfully saying, I'm tired of working with us black people and doing bad business. So I'm gonna fall back and do what I love at the moment, which is producing, and you know what I mean.
Hey, that's real shit.
But I started, history repeats itself. I'm starting to be outside. I'm throwing parties and stuff. Why not get back into DJing? And then that's how that happened. So she started, she was doing her comedy thing and has been killing it, doing the comedy here and there and everywhere. And then she asked me, she was like, "Yo, I'm doing a comedy show, La Bodega,
That was so when I met you, that was the first one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we on what, the fourth?
That was we're doing the
They
fourth
want-
one.
Nice.
The fourth one, yeah. And they're growing. You know what I'm saying? Like they're growing. Each one gets bigger and better, and we're gonna try this and we're gonna try that. And that's what it is. When you do stuff, it's like you gotta do it and have the trial and error, like fail a little bit. But also too, don't get too far in over your head or head over heel. Or what's the saying? I don't know what the saying is.
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
There you go.
That's another one.
There you go. Don't bite off more than you can chew. You know what I'm saying? Like, have the faith. You want to be positive. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's got to make sense. You know what I mean? So, take a step back and say, like, all right, how does this make sense? Are we making this make sense? So you can, because at the end of the day, you want to have the best outcome. You know what I mean?
No, that's been happening to me.
Yeah.
Because now that I know, now that I'm around you guys, and I'll be talking to her, and I'm like, yo, now that I interviewed about 10 comedians, now that I interviewed about 10 DJs, I'm like, yo, I want to throw a DJ party, or I want to throw a comedy show. So I'm like, nah, nobody gonna come.
No.
And she's like, bro, chill, like. And shout out to my friend Natalie. She throws events too. And it's like, yo, that's part of it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that feeling.
Yeah.
There's gonna be low ticket sales a week before, and then it's just gonna shoot up because everybody wait for the last minute. And this is just things that people are telling me.
Been there.
So
Yeah.
I'm so nervous, bro, to throw an event because of that. I'm like, nobody's gonna show up.
Nah, you gotta. But here's the thing, right? Because we all have that whoa or that feeling,
Yep.
right? The best way, because this is what I did. The art of collaboration is a beautiful thing. So I partnered with someone, like when I first started like doing parties and events. Shout out to Dotto, my boy Mikey Dotto from Greenberg. We ran the club called Coliseum in White Plains. We ran Coliseum to the ground. You know what I mean? Me, him, shout out to Russ as well. We ran Coliseum to the ground to where they was like, yeah, we need some more security, or so I forgot what happened.
Oh,
And
so
then,
you had it lit.
We had it lit, man. And it wasn't even, a big situation that happened. But anyway, shout out to Dan, the owner of Coliseum, man. Still love. But he's someone that's been doing it. You know what I mean? Like, he's done events. He's been outside. He had something dope, for artists called Raps and Receipts, which was, up and coming, artists would come perform, and then you have up and coming designers would come perform. So it's, you got the raps, you got the music, but then you got, tables with merch and stuff. And I think he ran that for maybe a couple of years. I mean, it was a staple until, they stopped it. But, so I'm like, okay. So, we're friends. We became friends and, started chopping it up and stuff. And then it was just like, yo, let's do something. Just do it. I'm like, all right, cool. And then, but I'm, paying attention and watching and, okay, this is what we do. This is what we do. How do we?
So there's nothing wrong with getting an OG.
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
not.
Your PC is not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Let me break somebody off so I'm studying as I'm going.
Right. So I'm glad you brought that up too. So there's the OG, right? And then there's the, I don't know what you would classify, because I look at it different. Yeah. Right. I look at
break it down your way.
I have OGs, and I've partnered with OGs and and have done things, but it's just, I don't know how to even really explain it. It's a difference, though. You know what I mean? 'Cause I look at an OG as like, one, significantly older. One, doesn't always have to be,
or maybe like someone like a mentor, someone
like a mentor, like a big bro type.
Someone
of deal,
that's been doing this longer than me.
Right.
If there's good energy, obviously, if he has a good reputation,
you know what I'm saying?
Then he could, he was pretty much helping you out in the
no, for sure.
And then eventually, he's gonna be like, yo, you could do, you on your own now.
No, that's a fact, and that's kind of what happened in a sense.
100%.
You know what I mean? But shout out to them and everybody on that side.
So don't be afraid. Pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah, like don't be afraid to step out the box and try. Especially like if you're planning it and if everything's kind of calculated and like, you don't want to just jump out on Friday and say, yo, I'm throwing a party on Sunday, pull up. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you got to set yourself up for failure. But
you want some weeks in between.
Exactly.
Four will be nice.
Yeah.
3, 2, 2 might be pushing it, but hey, some cases, you have no choice.
It could definitely be done. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the best way to get with somebody. But the thing is, it's just like, you want to bring something to the table at the same time. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say that, because if you partner with someone that's going to bring 1,500 people to the party and you're going to bring 5.
It's not,
you're not, you're doing, it might as well be his party.
Exactly. So here's what happened. I'm really good at planning, at, communicating, at, administrative stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At organization. Okay, cool. We're going to get hosts. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put all of the hosts in a group chat. This is what we're going to do as far as marketing, as far as, promoting.
So that's your lane.
Right. Because he's just like, yo, I'm going to throw the party. I'm going to get the DJs, boom, boom. I'll talk to the owners and da-da-da-da. And, I'm included in all conversations because that's like what I like to be. I don't, it's not like you do your thing, you do with it. We meet in the middle. It's just like, nah, let's have this meeting together. Yep. Let's, just so we all on the same page. Because we can get off track so quick. And you don't want to be off track when you're throwing an event and have to be in sync.
100%.
So, but you have your strengths and weaknesses, and then the other person has their strengths and weaknesses. So, you're going to share some of the same strengths. You don't want to share all of the same strengths. You want to have, you want it to contrast a little bit. You want some of their weaknesses to be your strengths and vice versa.
That'd be ideal. That's perfect. That's the perfect relationship.
No, for real.
But no, I eventually, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the cojones to do it, but
you got the resources, man. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I got. Yo,
you already know. You need. Just
I got all. Bro, I got my man Elliot, the biggest in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. I got you. I got Rose. I got product. I got people I can call to make it. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
I got my girl Natalie. I got my boyfriend Jez. Like, I got so many allies that I could do it, but I'm still like, nah, it's gonna fail because it's just fear, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
It's just the fear.
I'm glad you brought that F word up. So
yeah, I got fear tatted. Man, I got fear tatted on me. Because that for me. Fear is the not knowing. You know what I'm saying? That's what fear is. Everybody's scared because You don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I got this tattoo like about 15 years ago, and it meant a lot to me. To this day, it means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? My anxiety is because of fears. Depression in the past, it's fears is a big deal. But what you was gonna say about the?
What if I told you fear doesn't exist?
Wow, that'd be dope. I would want to listen.
What if I? Okay. Let me continue.
You got me.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Fear doesn't exist.
Wow, that's real.
Because think about it, right? And I read a book maybe a couple of years ago. It's called Outwitting the Devil, right? It's written by Napoleon Hill, and he's more popular for the book Think and Grow Rich. You might have heard of Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
But he wrote a book, and long story short, he wrote this book maybe 1920s or sometime, but he said, we're not going to release this book until I'm dead and my children are dead.
Wow.
Simply because this book is going to cause so much controversy that they're going to want to take me out. So let's just wait. And that's what it did. The book he's literally having a conversation with the devil. And, regardless if he's actually talking to the devil or not, it's the information that is talked about in, during those conversations. Pretty much, he's kind of like, being that he's going into that situation, knowing that fear doesn't exist, knowing that fear is a control mechanism, knowing that fear is used to, control us and keep us where they want us to be. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, the devil is like, I have no choice but to submit and answer every one of your questions because you figured it out. You got it. So they're talking about government. They're talking about, children. They're talking about, just pretty much why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
So in that book literally changed my life, and it changed my outlook on everything, even from religion, which is why I say I elevated to a more spiritual standpoint. Islam is always going to be my foundation, but I'm on a more spiritual realm now. But I say all that to say it's just like, you said fear is, the unknown of not knowing.
Yeah.
Why not be happy about what's going to happen? Why not be happy about what we don't know? Because at the same time, it's like we're projecting energy into this universal realm, right? Because everything has a vibration, everything is energy, everything has a frequency, right? So if we're projecting this energy that's going to ultimately come back to us, why not project it and let it be positive, right? If we're projecting 90% positive energy, we're going to get at least 70% back, if not the whole 90. You know what I mean? Because, of course, in me personally, I'm a retired overthinker, right? Meaning I found ways to control my overthinking. Meditation, yoga, gym, certain affirmations. But what that does is now you control the vibe. It's like DJing. Yeah. I can play this song and make you do this, or I can play this song and make you do that. I can make the coolest gangsters in the room just be all mushy with wifey or whatever.
Which is why they play the slow songs at the end.
Yeah, usually.
Time to go home.
Right.
Bring the tempo down.
Exactly.
With a child, take away the tablet, turn the lights off.
Yeah.
So that's the mood setting.
The environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and we spoke earlier about putting yourself in certain environments to,
The candles.
There you go.
With your lady.
There you go.
The lingerie.
No, all of that. It's all connected.
That's all connected.
It's all super connected.
I love this guy. I knew this was going to be a good interview.
Love you back, man.
I knew it was going to be a good interview, bro. I'm telling you, man.
But yeah, going back to the fear thing, it's like...
Because I'm an overthinker now.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's an overthinker, by the way.
Meditation. Meditation, I kid you not.
Yeah?
Literally, and I learned this. Russell Simmons wrote a book called Success Through Stillness, and that really breaks down the art of meditation. But, it's Russell Simmons, so he kind of breaks it, for us and, for us to kind of, know and get it and to be received and, the benefits of it and how to do it. But literally, I meditate daily. I try to do twice a day, but realistically, I do once a day before I even do anything. I wake up, I plant my feet, get grounded first, I get right back into bed, 20 minutes. Indian style, 20 minutes, right into bed. You know what I'm saying? We focus on a mantra, Om, Rum, something that has a vibration, right? We focus on the...
Wait. Mm-hmm. They might actually go drink rum. What were you saying?
So Om,
not rum.
Not that kind of rum.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to make sure.
Don't be meditating on Ray Nephew now. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
Motherfucker gonna be drinking
Too
rum.
early. It's too early. You know what I'm saying? Unless you go into that 9 a.m. day run or to the off the record
Yeah,
joint.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna be there. But no, because I really want to start. You know,
Yeah,
because she
nah.
even knows, bro. We
And
be
I'll help
laying
you out
down.
with it too.
Bro, if, like an interview, is like the next day, if I'm got an interview, if I'm thinking, she's like, you can't sleep, right? I'm like, nah. She's like, because she can feel it. You know what I'm saying? When you with,
right,
when you
'cause
with
you're projecting that
bro,
energy,
when you
yeah.
with your person, they know.
Yeah.
I can't sleep. I keep grabbing my phone. All that is a part of not relaxing.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So
It's
the
like,
meditating that you're talking about is this.
Yeah.
Is I'm start looking into that for real.
Nah, as you should, and I'll help you out with it too. Like it's you know, it's just like anything. It's gonna be a little challenging. You know what I mean? And there's days where it's like, yo, I'm hella tired. I only got 2 hours of sleep last night.
So go back to before I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
You good?
In the you Indian style in the bed, and well, this is your process.
Yeah, my process
Somebody
is
else
just-
might want to do this shit in the shower. Although that's not a thing.
Not that it can't be done in the shower, but you don't wanna give yourself something to do
Okay.
while you're
So
meditating.
you want to be
You wanna X out all, you know,
bed, sofa,
yeah,
that type of thing.
sofa, bed on the floor, something. You know what I mean? In the shower, you got to worry about
Slipping.
slipping and stuff. You know, you get into it and you be like, next thing you know, you out the shower. The wrong way.
Somebody's like, nigga, you don't fucking meditate in the shower.
You're
That's
for
how
real?
you know. That's how I know you don't meditate, motherfucker.
You still in there meditating?
For real. But your process is yours alone. So
Yeah.
Indian style in the bed and
Indian style in the bed, 20 minutes. So the word rum, right? And if we pronounce the word right, rum, there's a vibration with it. You know,
Yep.
we roll the R with it. Om. You hear the vibration with the H and the M. You know, OHM, Om, right?
Yeah.
And there's other mantras. You know, mantras are two common ones are Om and Rum, but the mantra is something you focus on, right? But you're not focusing on the actual word itself. You're focusing on the vibration of the word. You know what I mean? So, Rum, and then you don't really you say it, but it dives down into where now it's mental. So I'm focusing on it. I'm saying it in my head, the vibration of it, and now it's just like my eyes are closed. So I'm breathing in through the nose. I'm paying attention to the airflow into the nose and out to the nose. Everything starts and ends with the breath. Life starts and ends with the breath. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm paying attention to that, and what it does, and it's like it's to kind of paint the picture. It's like literally, when you're not meditating, you're at sea level, or you're above the water in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Once you start meditating, you start to go down. You start to go down. You start to go down. You start to go down, right? And there's certain different breathing techniques that I might implement too. I might do the number method. Number method is you breathe in for what is it, 13, 12, 9, 8, 6, 5 or something like that, but you breathe in for 13 seconds, or as close to 13 seconds as you can get.
Yeah.
You hold it, you exhale for the same amount of time, then you go the next number, and then what that does is that just puts you in instant meditation in a sense, to where it's like you're already kind of grounded, you're already kind of there, but then you just sustain it, or you push the envelope, right? Another breathing technique is you breathe in, you breathe in, you breathe in, exhale, 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 exhale. You breathe in, you breathe in, you breathe in, exhale, exhale, exhale. That alone, I do that sometimes when I'm outside.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I got to get grounded real quick. I'm over here and I'm over there, and I'm like, hold on. Like, I'll just hit a breathing technique real quick. Give me 5 minutes. I got you. Hold on. All right, cool. I'm ready now. You know what I mean? And it's not, it's not the full meditation, but that's gonna situate everything. That's gonna
It's a microwave version.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, still
Might be a rough day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Might
sure.
be a rough day, so you gotta,
sure.
like you said, you gotta bring yourself back.
Yeah.
But even when I was, I mentioned that I was running. I gotta get back into that shit, by the way, because that was a good mental health technique as well. Because when you running, bro, when I used to run, I did the New York City Marathon, but even when you do a little 6 miles and bro, mile 3 and 4, you just in your own head, bro.
Yeah.
and the breathing obviously
Yeah.
matters. And I used to
That's
be
a
like,
fact.
yo,
That's a
how
fact.
do people run? But when I started, obviously the fear.
Right.
I can't do a marathon. I can't do a half marathon. I can't run a 10K.
Yeah.
Bro, once you do it, it's like, oh shit, I'm there.
100%.
So the mind, body, and soul is so crazy, and that's the only thing that I could use as an example, because I've never meditated. I've never practiced anything that had to do except running,
Yeah.
and that taught me that, bro, you can do anything.
100%.
I ran 26.2 miles, bro.
That's wild.
So
That's wild.
that's how I
hard.
know.
That's tough.
No, but I earned that.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
the first time I ran 2 miles and I was dying.
Word.
2 miles, dying. And I can tell you it was 2 miles. Around here twice and a half. So we stop over there. Like almost the third time around is right over there. So I already know, because I've done it so much around here, or I go by the water. But that's my only example or understanding that I have to breathing and meditation and everything.
Gotcha.
But my brother, this was so dope, man.
Yeah,
Anything we left out, because with
man.
all your dope knowledge, man, whatever you got off the dome, just let me know, man. We could talk about anything you want.
Nah,
I think we covered everything, but
yeah.
you definitely
Definitely covered a lot.
you definitely taught me a lot in the hour and change that we've been here, bro. Because
Shoot,
I already knew it, bro. I knew it.
Today was a good day, then, man.
I knew it, bro.
I love just passing on like what I learned. You know what I mean? Because I try to, which I try to do. Because I put it like this: I don't know everything. You know what I mean? And no one does.
We're still learning
Like,
every day.
Yeah, and I'm always gonna be a student, and I've learned to like love the process of everything. You know what I mean? Like since InvestFest, actually, shout out to 19 Keys. That's that powerful brother, man, powerful brother. But I actually had a conversation with him at InvestFest, and we met a couple of times. But what he said, long story short, was it was just like, yo, we have one life, one body, one chance that we're aware of. We hear other things,
Afterlife and
stuff,
everything, yeah,
right? But it's like it's the unknown. So it's just like forget the unknown for a second. Let's focus on the present. Why not become the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, spiritually, like in every way, shape,
And it's
or form?
possible.
Like why not?
It's possible. It
You know what I
took me
mean?
44 years, but I'm here now, baby.
and that man, that stuck with me, and that's really the journey that I've been since then. Like I've always try to put my best foot forward, anything, but I took it to a whole nother level, like to where it was just like, yo, you 100% right. I'm going after everything that I want to go after, which is first myself. Like I'm conquering myself first. You conquer yourself, you conquer anything. You know what I mean? So it's like
That's how I feel, bro.
yeah.
Yo, that's how I feel,
It's the
man.
truth. It's
like,
the truth.
yo, I'm telling. Even with this podcast, bro, like, people be telling me, yo, bro, you dope, and I'm like, and I told you that when we was talking earlier, I couldn't accept the compliment because I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Now I'm showing my eyes, like, yeah, I'm fucking fire, but whatever.
You should though.
Yeah, as I should, but I think I couldn't. I would not have been able to do this 5 years ago. Because of my insecurities, because of my negativity that I had. Bro, I couldn't do this. Now, the reason why I can do this with you, the reason why I'm on episode 56 or whatever it is because I want to sit down with people and chop it up positive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to let the bike go. Everything, bro, I don't bring no negativity to my show. Every now and then there's gonna be some type of episode that somebody says some negative shit, but that's okay.
For sure.
I don't use that for clickbait.
Right.
And I was talking to someone the other day. Shout out to Abby. She's come. I was talking to Abby about it. That's her name as well. And I'm gonna interview her in next coming weeks. And we was talking about it, and she was like, "Yo, I fuck with your show," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I said, I don't do negativity, and she said, "That's fine." There's a lane for negativity and gossip and bochinche and talking about rappers that want to kill each other and talk about gangs and that's fine.
Right.
They're gonna get more views because negativity sells.
Yeah.
But there's a lane for me as well, and there's a lane for brothers and sisters that's doing what I'm doing
100%.
and just want to do what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Just chopping it up. We outside for real. BX on the Bruckner, motorcycles passing by. We making it happen. Because to me, it's all about the conversation.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
why your initial point of that good energy, the meditation, all that is we learning, man. So I want to thank you, my brother, because I knew that I wanted to have you, and you didn't what's the word? You didn't disappoint.
Nah,
You
that's
know what I'm
love.
saying?
That's
I
love.
knew you was gonna. And usually in
love.
my shows, man, I get the floor's yours. You know what I'm saying? End us with some prayer if you want. You can end us with positivity, motivation. It's up to you, my brothers.
You know what's wild? I've never done that before. We gonna do that here. I never ended or started like an interview with a prayer.
Hey, let's do it.
I'll let that be the last thing I do before we pray.
Oh yeah, whatever you got. You want to talk about something else?
Just kind of piggybacking off of what you like said, and I'm like, shoot, man. They say we got to give people their flowers while they're here,
100%.
which is 100% true. But and again, my brother Tone Trump said this, but I agree 100%. For me, it depends and it matters who the flowers come from.
Ooh,
You know
there
what I'm
you go.
saying? It's like, I love, always love, but it's just like, oh, these flowers came from this person. It's like, okay, it may hit a little more. You know what I mean? Simply because of the relationship or because of, whatever. But I appreciate the flowers, but I'm gonna give you your flowers too, because like you said, 5 years ago you wouldn't have, been able to do this, but you made a decision. You made a decision and you stuck with it, you stuck the course, and now look at where you at. But the thing is just like, that's a test to ourselves. Like when we do that, that's a test for ourselves. It's like, yo, I did this in this amount of time. Damn, what am I gonna do in the future?
And
now?
I walked away because I felt like I think after episode 13 I walked away, and shout out to Candy, and I'm always gonna give them their flowers. They the ones that hit me up for an interview, and I interviewed them through the phone, IG Live.
Yeah.
And shout out to Candy and the Southpuff Girls.
And that's what.
And bro, the
oh,
next
those my
day,
peoples. Yeah. For sure.
Yo, the next day, I got the bug, and to this day, I created you. I'm like, no, you did not create me. You just gave me my breath back. So always shout out to them. But and then other people say you needed that timeout. You needed to walk away.
Yeah.
To come back, because I came back. That was March
Right.
of last year. So it's been a year and change that I've been pedal to the metal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I needed that break. But I appreciate the flowers, my brother. Thank you so much.
For sure. And keep going, bro. Like, we never realize like our capabilities until we put in situations. I always say like, yo, if it's happening, you're ready for it.
100%.
Like some of my biggest successes came from things that I was like, damn, I can't do this. I can't do that. And there's times where
I can't is so bad. Bro.
Yeah, it is, and I've said that before multiple times. It's like, dang, but quick little story before we get out of here. 2017, I got a call to do Sway in the Morning.
Nice.
And this is pretty much the up trajectory, right? So I get a call. I went to Atlanta, and I met some artists down there, and I'm with this one, and I'm with that one, and I come back and I do Sway in the Morning. I'm just like, oh, this is a good summer. All right, cool. But at the same time, I personally wasn't as confident. Definitely not as confident as I am now in my music, but I wasn't as confident music wise. It was just like, because I come from, shout out to my grandfather again. I come from, dudes that play, jazz musicians, and my uncle Rocky, upright bass player, and, shout out to Rod the producer, my man playing in church, all dudes that really play and stuff.
Play.
You know what I mean? Like, them niggas be jamming.
They don't play with buttons. They play instruments.
And I'm like, dude.
Yep.
I'm making it sound fire, it's complete, but it's just like, I can't go and Sway in the Morning and play beats, and then it's just like, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. The only reason I didn't turn it down was because I was working out of the barbershop. My mama raised me to never go anywhere or do anything if you don't have a haircut. So I was like,
look at that.
all right, I'll go, I guess, but I'm just like, yo. But then I'm on the phone with Rod, and Rod is like, yo, bro, like, and for those who don't know, Rod is Undeniable Music is a production collective that we have. It's collective now. Shout out to Rod, the producer.
Shout out to them.
Iggy, You So Ignorant, or everybody that's a part of the collective. But I'm on the phone with Rod, and Rod is just like, yo, bro, like, nigga, it's sway in the morning. Like, why would you? Like, nigga, if it's ready, if it's happening, you ready for it. Like, like you got beats. Like, just play beats on the joint. Like, you know how to talk.
Figure it out.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You right. All right, we out. But that's always stuck with me, and a lot of my successes came from those moments, like those little last minute calls, like, yo, we need you to come record Anne Marie from Chicago, G Herbo's people, and but it's a grand piano, and we need it mic'd up. I ain't never did that shit before. But I know somebody that did. Okay, cool. Let me tap into the network. Let me do some research. Let me do some due diligence. Let me know what I need.
You didn't say no.
I didn't say no. I don't say no. When it's an opportunity to elevate. I've learned to say no.
Even with failure. Even if you fail.
Nah, that's a fact.
Even if you fail, try.
That's a fact. That's a big fact. But nah, man, this has been fire. I definitely needed one of these. The timing was perfect.
Oh, look at that! You see,
timing was perfect.
I appreciate it, man. I didn't know you needed it. You see,
timing was perfect.
This is why
you know what I'm saying?
Energy is important.
Absolutely, all the time, and pay attention to the energy too. The energy, the frequency, like the things that we don't pay attention to. A not so good vibe or a not so good, or when you get that inkling, listen to it. You'll be surprised on what the outcome will be.
And it's all about timing, because me and you've been talking for months.
That's a fact.
We've been talking for months, and I get distracted, you get distracted, and what I'm saying. We here because it was the time. Was right for us to be here, and 100%. Thank you for coming to my first episode of Live with At 5, episodes from the driveway. Oh no, not episode. Interviews.
Yes.
I don't even know the name to my own shit. Interviews
Both
from the driveway. You know what I mean?
Both
and we're on the Bruckner.
We outside.
There was some bikes, there was
Literally.
some trucks, and it didn't matter because the conversation is what matters.
That's a fact.
Unscripted, no notes, just talking to great individuals. You know what I'm saying? And thank you, my brother, again, man, for coming.
Pleasure's all mine.
You wanna do that thing and send us out with a prayer?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
What we gonna bow our heads? What we doing?
So we do bow our heads. We put our hands like this. Just to receive.
Babe, you too.
Just to receive the energy that's coming, you know what I'm saying? And then, we gonna start it like this. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillah ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Oh Allah, thank you for allowing this union, this interview, this energy, this synchronization to come together. Thank you for the divine timing. Thank you for the alignment. Thank you for putting us in the places that we need to be. Continue to keep us on the straight path, the straight and narrow. Allow AB and his lady to continue to flourish, continue to be successful, continue to lead the way, and do everything that their hearts, their minds, and their souls desire. Continue to guide them, keep them grounded, keep this energy, this frequency, this synchronization sacred. Allow it to reach everyone that it needs to reach. Allow the words and the ideologies, the thoughts, and everything else to reach where it needs to reach and touch those that it needs to be touched. Continue to keep us safe. Continue to allow us to continue to do what we need to do. Ameen.
That's Woo! That's how you end the show, baby.
That's it.
Thank you, my brother.
Pleasure's mine, my
You're welcome
man.
back anytime. Anytime you need another. Anytime you need another. Let it out.
Say that.
We here, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I know where you at now. I might pull up on somebody else. Don't be surprised if you hit me. Y'all outside. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. That's a wrap.
Yes,
Peace.
Yes.